We are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a truly special episode in this series. I'm your host, Alan Paul, and today we have the immense privilege of welcoming a distinguished guest with a remarkable journey in leadership and education. Our guest today is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz Ali, an accomplished individual who wears multiple hats. He serves as a cooperative learning program coordinator and lecturer at the Engineering and ICT College at Bahrain Polytechnic, where he plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of aspiring engineers and ICT professionals. But that's just the beginning of his incredible story. DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali's impact extends far beyond the classroom. In 2016, he achieved a monumental feat by leading the largest Toastmasters district in the world, a district spanning 7 countries in the Middle East, with an impressive 365 plus clubs. His leadership not only transformed Toastmasters in the region, but left a lasting legacy for growth and excellence. His dedication to parliamentary procedures and governance is equally commendable. DTM Ali holds the distinction of being the first registered parliamentarian in the Middle East and Region 11, recognized by the National Association of Parliamentarians in the USA. And of course, he's not just a leader within his local community, he served as the immediate past international director of Toastmasters International, where he contributed to the organization's global mission of communication and leadership development. Today, we have the honor of dwelling into the life, the experiences, and the insights of of this extraordinary individual. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali.
Thank you very much, Alan, for this opportunity.
Mhm. Let me start by asking you, like, we are all, I mean, personally, even me also, I would love to hear about your journey in Toastmasters, about how you progressed to become an international director. Like, what motivated you to take on leadership roles at such a high level within Toastmasters?
That's a very good warm-up question, I would say. And I never joined Toastmasters thinking that I would ever be in leadership. Um, I had been introvert for my entire life till I joined Toastmasters. It's almost 20 years. I joined it to improve my impromptu speaking skills
Hmm.
because I had this episodes where um, when I converse with uh, audience that I didn't know in college with friends, I just go on a pause mode. I used to go blank. And I
Hmm.
used to just be an introvert. I thought, okay, I should join Toastmasters. And there's a story about it. I will leave that to some other time. But when I joined, it was purely for communication. Just like many, I was pushed into Club XCOM. Nobody
Hmm.
came forward. And then I just started enjoying the responsibility. And uh, that's my fuel. When they make me responsible for something, I feel active, I feel
Hmm.
fresh, and I look for more responsibilities. The chain doesn't stop there. Uh,
Hmm.
that's how I came into leadership. There was a point when I served uh, at the club level for several years.
Hmm.
Uh, I became an area governor that time. It wasn't area director. And then I became division governor, wasn't this division director that time. I thought I would take a break because we worked so much. And those days, there were like many clubs in a division,
Hmm.
crossing 16 clubs, if I remember.
Hmm.
And that was a huge deal. So I thought I would take a break. I did take a year break and then I came back to district trial. I just went on,
Hmm.
and I started enjoying the leadership part of it. And I always tell people in leadership, you get more speaking opportunities.
Hmm.
So, so that's like two in one for me. And I
Hmm.
just enjoyed, of course, it wasn't prepared speeches, just like what I'm doing today. And there was no coming back from there.
Hmm.
Uh, And my message is also that leadership doesn't has to be a label, a pin.
Mm,
You could be a timer in the club, and that's leadership again.
mm,
When you're responsible for time management.
mm,
So sometimes people they think that they need to go up the hype and up the helm, and that's leadership. But leadership starts now. So, like you are the moderator of the session today, and that's leadership. You need to
mm,
start and end on time. And these all have their own fragrances,
mm,
essence of leadership. It's just
mm,
different layers we are looking at. And if I'm not going to practice leadership at the club level, there is no way I can call or become the leader what I should be at
mm.
any other level. So all magic starts from the club level.
Yes, that's true. Is there any favorite leadership position that you like? Like, which is there any favorites that you have?
Oh yeah, my favorite, and someday I would want to do it again, and that's area director.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that's one of the best leadership roles in Toastmasters. I served at the board of Toastmasters International, but area director, that's a position which I really would want
Mm,
to serve again. Uh, when four or five club presidents they come to you to solve their issues for guidance, for mentorship, and they're quite close in a very close distance. Uh, Clubs which are not out of the geographical boundary.
mm,
So here is where you make that change to these four clubs, five clubs, six
mm,
clubs maximum,
mm,
and uh, that builds the pressure more actually
mm,
because they can call you, they can walk up to you, they can see you in the same country,
mm.
and that's the first line manager I would say of the clubs.
That's true. That's like your step into the district, right? Right, away from the club.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that is one position which I really love. I would love to
Mm.
serve it again at some point.
That's true. Like many are too skeptical to think about taking on an area director role. And some of the concerns that most of the potential ADs talk about is a language barrier between the clubs and they
Mhm.
feel like they may not be able to connect with the presidents of other clubs much. What do you have to say? Like, have you ever faced such a challenge?
Um, Connecting to presidents of various clubs serving as area director, area governor, or division governor, or director.
Mm,
Yeah, there are people from all walks of life, and that's why we take these positions because when we can connect, work with people who are not from the same corporate, are not on the same payroll,
mm,
and doing things together or asking someone to do something, that's when actual leadership kicks in, right? Uh, when money is involved or any materialistic benefit, people will work anyway. But in non-profit organizations, when you make people work just when passion is the fuel, making one feel responsible, that's when real leadership kicks in. So, yes, people do think that I'll take an area directorship role and then
mm,
it's all going to be walk in the garden. Doesn't has to be like that. And if it is like that, means we are not doing our work correctly. So,
mm.
so there is a big question mark because not everything can be great always. So there will be,
Mm.
there are, and there always will be working with different characters,
Mm.
different
It's a
cultures.
very diverse and it's a global community that we have, right?
Exactly,
Like various
exactly.
cultures and backgrounds. Yeah.
Exactly. I totally agree with that.
Mm,
And so sometimes as area director, I go for my first visit in a club, a joke worked there.
mm,
And when I went to the second club, the same joke didn't work there. So
mm.
everybody was just quiet and looking at me. So uh, your you break those cultural barriers right there as an area director.
Mm. Yeah, that's
People
true.
should consider going for.
Yes. Uh, Area director is something that we can, I mean, at least I can relate to because I did the role. But for me, looking at, if I'm to look at your position as an international director, we can't really imagine what are the things that you did. So could you share some insights about some of the strategic directions that you took during your term as international director? Like what are the key priorities or the initiatives that you focused on as international director?
Well, of course,
Mm,
uh, I focused on a lot of things.
mm,
I didn't even imagine I would be part of these committees where I was.
mm,
Um, on the surface level, it was committees like improving our governing documents, refining them. And when you are going to work on policies which are going to change the direction, make it better for an organization with
mm,
hundreds and thousands of members,
mm,
organization which is hitting its 100th year uh, in the August convention,
mm,
actually around that time. So when you are given a document and you are told that you're going to be part of refining this,
mm,
so I had goosebumps when I was reading it. I did read it before, but this time the experience was quite different. There are people, members, it's a people's organization, and they're paying their fees.
mm, mm.
How can we
Correct.
make this experience better for them? So that itself is an experience to go through. The same book, but the perception changes. So
Mm,
that's one benefit. Uh, it's a very diverse board we are looking at. Things what might work in um, our part of the world might be little different in UK,
mm,
in Australia. They would take this differently probably, or anywhere in the world. So our main aim is that everybody is satisfied as much as possible with a
mm.
single change. There have been committees where a comma makes a difference. You see, so
Mm,
how would people take that pause in a sentence? So that's the beauty of our organization. Uh, are this English readers or international English readers,
mm,
which I never thought would make such a huge difference.
mm,
Uh, there was one part in the committee where you may not do it and you should not do it.
mm,
It's two different things in two different cultures. May, for some, you're giving an option,
mm.
right? You should not do it. It's more decisive. So
Yeah,
that was fun. And there
yeah.
are committees related to other sections.
Mm,
Uh, of course, we cannot mention everything here. There's lots of committees, but
mm,
in general fashion, almost every committee you can think of, talking about branding, policy, constitution,
wow.
um, which can change the course of the organization towards making it even stronger, bigger, and better. So
Mm,
yeah, uh, and it's a beautiful experience,
it
definitely.
is. It definitely is. I mean, you have a strong passion towards policies, constitution, all these parliamentary procedures. Is this something that you started getting passionate about after you joined Toastmasters, or did you have a passion for that before that itself?
No, definitely, it was only after I joined Toastmasters.
Mm,
Uh, it was one back in 2005, probably, if I remember. I was a club president, and there was a discussion where the room got divided into two parts. One part was saying we should call the district champion to our club.
mm,
The other part was like, we have few more days to achieve the DCP goals.
mm,
So we can't sacrifice, because those days we had to keep people on waiting list to speak in the clubs. The passion
mm,
was so high.
mm,
Like, if you could find five, six speakers for the next meeting, and the chart was drawn for the whole year, for the whole term.
mm,
Any disturbance would be like, what about my goals? What about the DCP of the club? So
mm,
it was a discussion, not this meeting, the other meeting, and there was a very senior DTM from Saudi Arabia who came up to me and said, "Why don't you just apply parliamentary procedures and stop this discussion?" And
mm,
I was so new and I didn't know what he's trying to say here. I
mm,
tried to balance that night. When I went back home, I read about it and I realized, okay, this is something new I should learn. And that's
mm,
how policy parliamentary procedure started. I I got the book and I used
mm,
to travel with the book.
mm.
And yeah, and then it was all about policies.
And these are policies which it just doesn't it is not just that you can apply it in Toastmasters. You can even apply it outside, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because once I learned the policies, I started applying. Then I started working on standard operating procedures for my own organization,
Mm,
uh, for my side business, uh, processes, flow of activities.
mm,
So, what sequence, when, how, um, and I used to chart out things already
mm,
where the business work, and I benefited a lot. Especially in my field, there's a lot of research work.
mm,
So um, I started marking those research more better when I saw the governing documents and taking interest in them. In fact, in 2017 for District 20,
mhm,
I wrote the first code of practices. Uh,
mm.
uh, I'm sure you have seen it
Yes,
probably,
yes,
or
I did.
so in 2017, me and the team, thanks to all of them, we sat for days committed to it. Almost every alternate evening, we came up
Mm,
with that document. And this year, I'm the chair of the District Code of Practices once again. Since I've written it, I've come back to it this term.
mm.
And there's some good work coming up with it. So,
That's nice. Like you have inspired me in many ways in terms of these parliamentary procedures. Like I am currently the president of an association here for my Indian community, and they didn't have proper bylaws as well. They didn't have these parliamentary procedures. I incorporated whatever you taught in the organization, and it has massively transformed. Any conflicts, parliamentary procedures. Any laws, parliamentary procedures. So it's I mean, I don't think people realize the impact that parliamentary procedures has uh, when you go for different leadership roles. So thank you for that, DTM Ali. And what would you say? I mean, do you feel like people should know more about parliamentary procedures and the things that we learn in District 20?
uh, I I would say that people should not learn procedures out of context. Some
Hmm.
people only pull it out when they need to be political.
Ah, that's a
And
yeah.
yeah, it's like everything has a good use and a bad use.
Mm,
So we pull out any book for in times of need. We should read them uh, completely, not
mm,
out of context.
mm,
Little knowledge is always dangerous.
mhm,
Uh, yes, people do come up to me, they talk to me about if this happens, what to do, or this is happening, what to do. Um, Sometimes I blame myself. I give them easy answers. And it's like my phone has become 24/7. Send a question and the answer pops up. So I've stopped that practice. I just tell them, go to this article and read this in the governing documents.
Mm,
Uh, Many a times they read this and then they come back to double check. And sometimes I find that better because I'm, in a way, training people to read themselves, and maybe their perception is different. So I can check it with what I'm thinking and what they are thinking.
mm,
So lately, I've started telling them just go read it. If you
mm,
still have doubts, come back to me and we can talk about it. But uh, the message here is not to read it out of context,
mm,
uh, or keep a parliamentarian in your club, in
mm,
your district, whom you can refer back to, because it's not everybody's cup of tea to know policies to procedures. But thing is, when I'm filing for a leadership role,
mm,
uh, I should know much about it. We have leaders,
mm,
uh, for example, district public relation manager, district finance manager, district logistics manager. These are all leadership roles. Let's
mm.
imagine in one of the excoms or the council, the first three don't show up
Yeah.
for some reason. So the PRM is going to head the district for that time.
Mm,
Then what happens?
yeah.
So it's almost
Is that?
better to be updated
Mm,
when we might be in the hot seat anytime.
that's true.
Yeah. Or at least know the basics if we are not interested to know everything,
Mm,
just the basics. Like the PRM should know about branding,
mm,
um, FAQs.
mm,
What if there's a branding violation? The governing documents addresses that.
mm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so we should know that.
we should
Uh,
know that.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, Toastmasters International has evolved a lot over the years, especially over your 20 years in Toastmasters. Like, how do you envision the future of Toastmasters, and what role do you see it in playing in the development of communication and leadership skills worldwide?
Uh, Toastmasters International, personally,
Mm,
when it says um, or when we claim that it's a serious transformation, I say Toastmasters is a way of life.
mm,
Um, there are instances where what we have learned in Club A, we apply in Toastmasters Club B, Club C. But actually, what I recommend, what we apply in A, apply it in our work, at our work, in our personal life, as much as possible. We can't just dwell in Toastmasters. We have to show the world what we have learned. And I believe the organization is will go very, very far. I mean, 100th anniversary is a big example uh, of your organization which talks about communication and leadership. Um, for a price of two or three coffees, we are getting a membership for the whole year with one of the best programs on the planet when it comes to communication and leadership. Well, just the fancy names of our paths. Who's going to offer us all that? Base
that's true.
camp. So it's an ocean in Toastmasters.
Mm,
Leadership, communication,
mm,
and we are not lost anywhere. We have all that resources.
true.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you must have seen. I mean, I have a feeling that you must have seen and been with Toastmasters from different parts of the world compared to anyone else in District 20, right? Because you are the international director. Uh, is that correct? What do you feel? You must have seen a lot of people, right?
Well, yeah, sometimes
Mm,
position makes it such that you
mm,
meet so many people across the world, you work with them.
mm,
Yes, people fly to the convention,
mm,
and convention is like the place, central place where annually Toastmasters from across the world gather.
mm.
Meeting
So
them, sitting next to them is one thing, working with them is another.
yeah, and their styles must be like completely different from each other. Like, or can you share like any specific or particularly inspiring or impactful stories of those members, like how their lives were transformed by Toastmasters?
I have seen trained actually as past region advisor and international director. In region advisors, they train district trios from across the world.
Mm,
So when you have to get in a room with district directors, program quality directors, club growth directors from any part of the world,
mm,
really, let's say 40 to 50 district officers you have not met before,
mm,
you go in there as a region advisor and you're going to train them. And they are already district officers. And they have come all the way, probably some 2 hours flight to 26 hours travel time. They are tired. They just reached next day, 7 a.m., breakfast and 8 a.m. training. So, what if you have to go in that room and train them what they already know? So, you
yeah.
see, so yes, it's a challenge. And at this trainings, you make relations. You
Mm,
get to know the club growth director, who is supposedly the first timer in many conventions.
that's true.
So I've met this, yeah. So I've met this club growth director becoming the PQD and then the DD
Mm,
in 3 conventions continuously.
mm,
And when they become the DD, the same guy who came in was trained the first year. I saw a huge transformation many times.
mm,
Uh, Sometimes people who don't have that kind of work experience, they are more like homemakers, and that's a great work as well.
mhm,
But when they step in this new experience, uh, I see the transformation
mm,
from a homemaker, could be a father or mother,
mm,
especially moms, when they get in, and then you are a DD now.
mm. It's a
So
huge, yeah.
it's a huge transformation.
That's true. That's true. And speaking about your trainings, I remember the district training when I was the AD. Your trainings are really exceptional. It's really engaging, and I learn a lot. I mean, it's a privilege to be trained by you, and I can imagine how it would be at an international level.
Yeah, I enjoyed it and got some great feedback, good scores. Um, yeah,
Okay. All
uh,
right.
for me, training is more like responsibility, getting in, respecting people's time they have
Mm,
taken to come and be trained by you. So that itself is a responsibility. And I always believe till we are not made feel responsible in life, uh, we don't give our best.
mm,
Toastmasters is all about responsibility, club
mm,
officer responsibility, district roles, whether it's a small committee responsibility. You have a responsibility today as a great moderator. So if we are not put in this
mm,
spot, we are not going to give our best. We're not going to learn.
mm,
Uh, Pushing somebody to be a club contestant, responsibility. You are going to stand, and there are going to be judges who are going to listen to your speech to mark you, but there are other side of the audience who
mm,
are more than the judges usually, who might transform listening to your message. That's a responsibility. So definitely, I take it this way, and that's what I feel while training. It's my responsibility to give them a good training today.
mm,
Uh, Maybe that adds to my trainings. I'm not sure, but yeah.
mm. That's true. All right. So one last question before we wrap up. What message or words of encouragement would you like to share with current and future Toastmaster members, especially those who aspire to make a significant impact within the organization?
Uh, in recent times, everybody wants to become leader.
Mm,
I'm talking about labor leadership when they want to go for positions.
mm,
Uh, but then I see when if every rub will make you irritated, disappointed, discouraged, frustrated, then it's a long way forward. Uh, I would say if a rub made you, if an incident made you discouraged, go and try that again in that same place.
mm.
It will only make you stronger and stronger. I was a member of
That's
a
true.
club. Yeah, uh, I was a member of a club which something happened, and that was kind of betrayal. And I was very hurt that night.
Mm,
Uh, it's a very, I'm just sharing in a very quick fashion. But then I was advised by a close friend, don't go to that club ever again. Just don't renew your membership.
mm,
I said, no, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to be normal and I'm going to do the same thing again.
mm,
I went back, I didn't change myself. And what happened? Those guys became my fan later.
mm,
So, uh, my advice to everybody would be if you are going to walk that leadership path, there will be times when you will be disappointed, you will feel betrayed, discouraged, but that's the reason why we have this program.
mm,
Our program was not created for a perfect situation, it
that's true.
was created to deal with people. So let's make ourselves stronger mentally, emotionally.
Mm,
And on the other side, if we are not going on to the leadership path very far, as you asked, Alan,
mhm,
if we are just talking about Toastmasters, the best thing is always remember why you joined Toastmasters in the first place.
mm,
You joined here to reform, to learn communication, leadership, be a better version. So stay away from things which will deviate you from what you have joined Toastmasters for. Uh, I didn't join Toastmasters to know what exactly is commercial benefits of uh, world headquarters stuff. That's not my problem.
mm,
So when I see such questions, it comes to me. I didn't join Toastmasters to know about it. I joined to transform myself.
mm,
I joined Toastmasters to work on my development. So at every stage, there are people who will take care of things. But right now, I have to focus on the very reason why I joined. I can't be selfish that this is the reason I joined to become the world champion of public speaking, for example.
mhm,
It has to come in with a package
mhm,
because we all are in the same boat. If I go to that club and I don't want to serve as a leader, as a timer, as a VP education, as a VP PR, and tell them, I just joined to become the world champion of public speaking. So you promised me I can speak here, and
mm,
that won't help because
mm.
if that boat sinks, everything is gone.
That's true.
You know,
Like we joined for various different reasons, but Toastmasters, there's a lot to explore within Toastmasters itself. And
exactly.
yeah, and I remember certain things I did during my leadership journey. There were, and when I think back about it, I'll be like, oh, I could have done things different. And then when that same situation happens again, I know that, okay, I have experience dealing with this earlier and I managed it in another way. Let me try it this way now. And the flexibility to try out different things within Toastmasters is truly remarkable. This is the best place to do that in a very supportive environment.
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly.
mm,
One last example, Alan, just to complete this, it wouldn't be complete.
mm,
Uh, I saw people, or I know who join just for that specific goal, which is not bad idea. It's good.
mm,
But there was one member who was only about becoming a contestant, and that's all.
mm,
In the same contest at the club level, it was a full house. I saw that one contestant who was involved in setting up the place, the camera, the clip on mic, running, setting up things with the surgeon at arms,
mm,
just to make the club experience better for the guest, for the judges,
mm,
for the members coming in, and then was totally exhausted, came 1 hour early, was setting up things, and then went at the back and is a contestant.
oh.
That
Okay.
person won.
Hmm.
So it's I spoke to that person. Weren't you all about your speech you're focusing right now?
Mm,
So the person said, yeah, my speech was in my mind. I was helping, but someone has to help the surgeon at arms, right? So I
mm.
couldn't see the guy working alone.
True.
So
That is so
you,
true.
so I can't forget that example.
Uh,
Yeah,
you always have great examples, and we always get new examples while serving in leadership positions, talking to people. So it has been a pleasure talking with you, DTM Ali.
thanks, dear Alan, and uh, you got me. Um, I know it was a lot of to and fro getting into this appointment because of more busy schedules, different time zones. But thanks a lot for the opportunity because it's only when people ask, "Can we speak?" These experience come out.
Mm,
You know, you share something, I share something, and we don't know who's going to benefit from all this.
that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah, I mean, we are like so glad that we got to have an appointment with you. I know your schedule is so packed, so having this 1 hour slot with you is like really thanks a lot for joining us in this session, DTM Ali.
no worries. My pleasure.
No, right. All right. So there you have it, everyone. Our interview with DTM Ali, Shahbaz Ali. And this would not be the first. There would definitely be more interviews with them. And thank you once again for watching.
You're welcome.
Mhm.